He sat at the head of the long glass table, tapping his pen against a note, pad more out of habit than necessity. David Maddox, CEO of Maddox & Co., didn't usually handle interviews personally, but something about this appointment had caught his attention. The resume had been fine, impressive even, but there was something else. Maybe he was just bored of the polished rehearsals. He wanted real, unexpected. So when the door opened and a young woman walked in alone, clearly nervous but holding her shoulders like armor, he blinked. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "My friend, she's the one who was supposed to be here, Chloe. She got sick last minute, but she told me everything about the position. I didn't want you to be left waiting." David didn't say anything at first. She was younger than he expected, early 20s maybe. Her blouse was slightly wrinkled, the heel of one shoe a bit scuffed, but her eyes, wide, clear, confident. But without flinching. "You came to someone else's interview?" he asked. "I didn't want her to miss her shot," she said. "She's brilliant, just unlucky with timing." There was a pause before David gestured to the chair across from him. "Then sit. Let's see what you've got." He wasn't sure what he expected, but it wasn't this. Her name was Zoe. She was studying part-time while managing shifts at a bookstore. Her answers were sharp, unfiltered, occasionally funny. When she didn't know something, she said so without trying to cover it up. There was a disarming honesty to her that made David lean in, ask more, dig deeper, not because he was testing her, but because he found himself wanting to hear more of her voice. Halfway through, he realized he was smiling. She noticed too. "Am I saying something stupid?" "No," he replied. "You're saying something human." By the time the interview wrapped up, the office felt less like a boardroom and more like a space in between decisions. David watched her stand, smoothing the fabric of her skirt. "Thank you for seeing me," she said, reaching for the door. "Zoe," he said. She turned. "This wasn't part of the plan, was it?" "Nothing ever is." She smiled. "But sometimes detours are better." He didn't stop thinking about her after she left. She didn't expect the call, but it came the next morning, a formal job offer, with a generous package, an office, and a start date. She accepted, heart pounding. On her first day, David wasn't in the lobby, but she felt his presence like a ripple under the surface. She was shown to her desk, bright, sleek, beside a window overlooking the city, and on it a note, "Welcome, Detour." She smiled. For the next few weeks, their interaction was professional. Emails, occasional check-ins, briefings, but beneath it all, a tension stirred, a quiet awareness. Her breath caught slightly when he entered a room. His eyes lingered just a second too long when they passed in the hallway. Nothing happened, but everything was happening, and then came the charity gala. She wore a black satin dress, simple but stunning. When he saw her walk in, talking to a client, his chest tightened in a way he hadn't felt in years. Later, when their eyes met across the floor, she raised her glass slightly. He crossed the distance without thinking. "You clean up well," he said softly. "You too. But I liked the tie you wore last week better." They talked quietly, close. When someone passed too near, her hand brushed his chest to steady herself, and neither moved away. The ride back was unplanned. She hadn't driven, he offered. They didn't speak much on the way, but when they reached her apartment, she hesitated before opening the door. "Do you want to come up for a drink?" she asked. He didn't answer with words. He followed her. The apartment was warm, dimly lit. She poured wine while he stood by the window, jacket off, sleeves rolled. When she handed him the glass, their fingers touched. She didn't pull away. He set the glass down without drinking. She did the same. Their kiss came not from impulse, but something much older, like a story that had been waiting to be written. His lips were firm, hers yielding. He pressed her against the wall, hands bracing either side of her shoulders. When she gasped softly, he paused. "Tell me to stop." She looked at him, lips parted. "Don't." Clothes came off in whispers and sighs. Her dress slid down, pooling at her feet. He lifted her effortlessly, carrying her to the couch. Their bodies found rhythm without instruction. Breath for breath, skin against skin, aching and slow. There was no rush. Just need, raw and real. She lay on his chest afterwards, breathing still heavy. He stroked her hair in silence. "I didn't mean for any of this." She murmured, "I did." He whispered, "I just didn't think I'd be lucky enough." She shifted to look at him. What happens now? He didn't have an answer, but he knew he wanted her in his life, in his arms, not just for tonight. "I want to see you again," he said. "No suits, no boardrooms, just us." She nodded, her fingers tracing his skin. "Then stay." He did. Work changed subtly. They were careful. Nothing overt. But there were moments, his gaze on her during meetings, her smile when she passed him a file. A secret space only they occupied. At night, he'd come over. They'd talk, cook, make love like it was language. She told him about her dreams. He told her about his fears. One evening, she whispered, "I think I'm falling for you." He kissed her shoulder. "You've already landed." The world outside didn't need to know, not yet. What mattered was the way she fit against him in sleep, the way he touched her like he was memorizing her, the way detours sometimes lead exactly where you're supposed to go. And as she drifted off, his hand on her back, he thought, the best interviews don't ask questions. They make you feel like you've found home.